All of us, during the day, during the week, screw up. Things go bad. Every organization. Service recovery is how do you go from hell to heaven? How do you take a customer who is swearing at you? They wouldn't swear, I'm sure, in your market area. But a customer that's upset, that's just demanding that he's never going to do business with you again. How do you take that situation and flip it around so that he thinks you're the greatest company in the world? That's what service recovery is all about. And so what we're talking about is how do I take this customer from hell to heaven in 60 seconds? That's what service recovery is all about. That's what my book, that's what my programs are focusing on. So it creates an experience so remarkable that people feel compelled to talk about it. Would you like to learn how to master the 4 steps of service recovery? I'm John Tschohl. Let me talk about what the 4 steps are. Number 1, you got to act quickly. 2, you got to take responsibility. 3, you got to be empowered. And 4, you have to compensate. Let's go through those quickly. Quickly means 60 seconds. All of this has to happen in 60 seconds. That means you don't have time for an employee to say, I tell you what, sir, let me talk to my supervisor. By the way, sir, a little problem is that he's at lunch right now, but he'll be back in an hour. Okay. Or I'm sorry, sir, that my boss, he's in Miami, and but next week he'll be back. Quickly means that you, the employee, have to make a very fast decision on the spot. It is very costly to move the problem up the chain of command. If you really want to master service recovery, the magic is what the employee does at the very, very bottom. What that employee does is absolute magic. See, if it ever gets to the CEO, it's too late. The CEO is going to give away the store. He's going to do whatever the person wants, okay? And in the process, you will be burned and you will most likely have lost a customer because very, very few people are going to keep moving it up the chain of command. Number 2, you got to take responsibilities. All you got to do is say, Mike, we screwed up. Or Mr. Smith, it's totally our fault. Now, you may have to take out an additional insurance policy because these customers have never heard an employee say, I made a mistake or we made a mistake and it's our fault. They may die of a heart attack right there in front of you out of pure shock. Let me tell you what, when an employee says, I apologize, obviously it is our fault. The customer's thinking, whoa, I've never heard this before. So I believe, frankly, that at least 90% of the time the employees lie. Don't lie, just say, we screwed up, it's our fault. By the way, even if you didn't screw up and the customer thinks it's your fault, just say, we screwed up. Don't pass the blame off. Don't say, oh, it's those guys in accounting, it's the sales department, it's shipping. Just say, oh my gosh, I apologize, it is our fault. And then what you don't want to do is say, I'm sorry, sir. We have policies, we have rules, and we have procedures. By the way, you are screwed. Because that's what you're saying. It's like putting gasoline on a fire. See, what you want to do is you want to make quick decisions. You want to be empowered to be able to make a fast decision to help the customer instantly to their satisfaction. And then the last item is that we have to compensate. We got to give the customer something of value. See, let's say you have a flower shop and the wrong delivery got there. You can give away a dozen free roses. Your cost of goods is very small. If you have a computer company and you screwed up somehow on the computer or the installation, you can extend the warranty by a year. Your cost is very insignificant. If you are Vail, Colorado, and somehow you screwed up, you can give the guy a free ski lesson, a group ski lesson. You can give the guy a free ski ticket. All of us have products and services that have high value and low cost. So now let's give you a very quick example. It's a restaurant, okay? And you have a reservation for 4 people at 7 o'clock at night. I just want to use a concept that we can all relate to. You get there with your party of 4 and the hostess says, I'm sorry, sir, there's no way we can seat you until 7:30. We've been slammed, we're busy, we can't get you in. Just please have a seat and wait. You're sitting there for 30 minutes if you stayed, thinking, this is a crazy organization. For sure, I'm not coming back. But now we have an employee that understands service recovery. She says, Mr. Tschohl, obviously we made a mistake. We thought the groups would go faster, and I'm not going to be able to seat you till 7:30. Would it be okay if you and your party of 4 went into the lounge and had drinks on us until we're able to seat you? Now you're having the drink with all your friends and you're thinking, this is cool. I hope this happens again, okay? And now here's the interesting thing is how many people would hear about this? I'll bet each person would tell at least 20 other people. Now let's assume that each of the 4 people had 2 drinks. What's the real cost? Maybe $1 each. So now you got $8. Now let's say you got a really cheap owner of the restaurant. He says, you know, this is way too much money to spend to keep a customer. And he says, I tell you what, I'm going to give each of you $2. And what I want you to do is tell 20 of your friends how great we are and how good we are. And you've just had to wait for 30 minutes. What would you do? You'd say, screw you, okay? So when we talk about service recovery, I don't care how good we are. I don't care how committed we are. Bad things happen. Things go wrong every day, every week in your organization. The magic is service recovery, getting each and every one of your employees to do the 4 principles of act quickly, take responsibility, be empowered, and compensate. See, if you master service recovery, you can reduce your defection rate. You can keep more customers. You can become the most successful organization in your area. I'm John Tschohl, and I'd love to be of help.